Greetings, my name is Rudimentary Rob. Welcome back to my Valheim series. Today we've got a bit of a special one. I'm not going to spoil it just yet. Suffice to say, we've got a little bit of prep to do first. So we open the episode with me making a whole bunch of needle arrows. Not the least of which that they are a little bit better than the obsidian ones. And they will come in handy in the future. So, while we do a little bit of prep in the background, I want you to strap yourself in, get on your special occasion helmet, and prepare for some action. Okay, we have left our base, and for those who recognise this from the previous episode, this is our Yagluth portal, all the way out on the western edge of what we've explored, and that is the altar for summoning Yagluth. We're going to make our way over there now, and if you haven't already guessed, the theme of today's episode is we're gonna kill us another boss. So we're gonna make sure that Yag's days are numbered. So you might want to swap your straps and your helmet for the boss killing versions. It's gonna get interesting. Alright, summoning this boss looks a little bit fancier, but same process. We're just going to rip out our 5 fueling totems and put one in each of the spots. We're just casting a little weather eye around just to see if there's any last minute mosquitoes or anything like this. We're still reasonably early in the day, and this is going to be another fairly long boss fight. Confident now that everything is where we want it. We've got things underway. Now, I did mention at the end of the previous episode I was going to consider a few different options for what I was going to do about the fact that there is so much water around. I actually didn't bother. I just thought I'll make do with it. If it turns to pot, I'll just abort and, make some changes and, try again. Yagluth has 3 attacks. Only 2 of them he does at range. The first one he does, he waves his arm in the air and he vocalizes this thing that sounds a bit like Muad'Dib or something, I don't know. That's what and then he summons these flaming meteors down from the sky. Out of all of his attacks, that is probably the one that does the most damage. So try and have some shelter lined up so that one doesn't hit you completely. The second ranged attack is, it's like this lightning breath thing that he does. I'm not going to lie, it hurts a little bit as well, but compared to the meteor attack, it's actually not too bad. And you can reduce it quite a bit just by blocking it with your shield. The third attack is like this AoE explosion centered on him. But he only does that when you get really close. You'll see this big expanding orb that he triggers, and standing in that is not great either. But again, your shield can block a fair bit of that damage. If you're gonna do Yag in a similar method to what I'm doing here, and that was his third attack type there. If you're planning on doing Yag a bit like what I'm doing, then I recommend making use of these pillars. Not the least of which, all the damage that Yag is going to do to them is going to give you a lot of stone, and stone's always useful. But the shape of these allows you to easily take cover from the meteor storms, and you can see just how much damage that the meteors are doing to the rock spires, so yeah. Anyway, that's enough of my waffling and ranting. I'm going to let you absorb the majesty and nail biting and all of those other good things that tend to go on with boss fights. I'm going to put a bit of a theory out there and leave a comment down below if you think this might be accurate. But I'm putting some things together here to draw some conclusions about our little friend Yag here. Now, there's a lot of floaty, glowy orbs of different colours, and he does sound an awful lot like he's vomiting when he does his lightning breath. And his other attacks involve a lot of lights and different colours. And that thing that I said sounded like Muad'Dib before, I'm starting to think it sounds like Party. So I'm wondering, is this some, fallen god of partying who just took far too many interesting substances that, kids, you should definitely not be taking these kind of interesting substances, to be sure. But he's taken one too many illicit substances, and this is kind of where he's ended up. He has his he's got a BYO dance party, and he's taken too many substances, and he keeps throwing up. That's where I'm going with this. So leave some comments down below if you think that there might be some merit to my theory. Alright, we've reached the point in the battle where I starting to think that the amount of arrows I've brought is just not going to quite get the job done. So I'm deciding I need to mix it up a bit by getting in there and smacking him around a bit with my mace. And I'm happy to report the mace actually hits him very, very, very hard. But the trade-off to that is, yeah, he's hitting me pretty damn hard as well. So I do a little retreat here just to give my health a chance to recover. Throw a few more arrows. You know, rinse, repeat. Just trying to make my arrows last a bit longer. The health regen is pretty good from this food. But as you can see, I have around close to 200 health just after eating the food. So, good regeneration rate or not, it still takes a little while to get up to full strength without sucking a potion down. And the potions have a bit of a cooldown on them, so I'm trying not to take them unless I absolutely need to. This fight is giving me a few skill ups in my bow skill, which I'm definitely not going to say no to. Alright, just checking on my arrows here, and I started the fight with 200 frost arrows. I have 35 of those left. And then all I've got left after that is the, 93 needle arrows. So I'm about halfway or a bit over halfway through my arrow supply. And I've decided that's not good enough. And we're going in to get us a bit more smacking him in the nuts kind of action. Yep, and this is the coming up to the I told you so bit about the meteor storms hitting very hard. Yep, and they knock you around a bit too, so I think Rob's kind of done with being a Rob-sized barbecue for the moment. I'm going to pull back and use some arrows and see if I can recover some health. You'll notice that my potion, my healing pot, is actually on cooldown for another minute and a bit, so It is very much a duck and cover kind of exercise for the moment. Now, as I duck the latest round of Meteor Swarm heading my way, I step out here and, I could have sworn there was a boss around here somewhere. Can't hear anything. Can't see anything. Oh, there he is. Yeah, he seems like he's pretty slow sometimes, but, he actually isn't, so watch out for that one. I was about to start looking down the back of the couch because I thought I'd lost him, but it's alright, he was just being an extra sneaky. Well, if you thought you liked your Rob, you know, cooked medium rare or rare, I'm sorry to disappoint. Rob is very, very, very much cooked well done out of this fight. If you don't like a well done Rob, I'm going to have to contact the kitchen and see what I can do about getting a replacement. Now, this is the Yag moment where he tried to go for mutually assured destruction, and to be honest, I had a moment there where I thought he may have succeeded, but luckily I was keeping an eye on my health and I chugged a health potion. Had I not done that, I'd have been running back to my body about now, but that's all good. We did get the boss down in the end, and you get those couple of items off the boss. We're now going to pick up a bit more stone and work our way back to base. And we've got a few things that we can do now. So I'll walk you through some of that. But because we haven't had a reading with Rob moment all episode, I'll let you absorb that one for a moment. And we've reached that point in the chain of handling of the boss trophy. It's time to add that trophy to all of the other bosses that we have killed. And here we are with the bonus round of Reading with Rob. We hear about the origins of Yagluth. Now, the Yagluth buff is very, very, very handy in some situations. And minor spoiler here, I did switch my buff to the Yag buff. That is a decision that I regretted not that long after. I would recommend remaining with the bone mass buff until such time as you are dealing with quite a lot of, magic or fire damage, or you're playing at multiplayer and someone else already has the bone mass buff. It makes sense for one of you to have the Yag buff as well, essentially covering all available resistances. Now, we've walked back to base here. We are throwing down our Wisp Fountain. Now, this is something that you don't really need any more than one of them, and indeed you barely need one of them, to be honest. During the night, they will attract a wisp. In fact, you can see one arriving now. You gather a wisp, and you can use it to make the wisp light, which is a fairly essential piece of equipment for our coming journey into the Mistlands. Now, even before I killed Yag, I did scout out the very edge of a couple of bits of Mistland just to get a bit of an idea of which direction I wanted to go in. And I've got to say, without the mist light, you really can't see, like the thick fog out at sea is nothing compared to the mist in Mistlands. You can't even see the end of your nose, seriously. So, trying to navigate Mistlands without a wisp light is not a great idea. Subsequent to that, I'm also going to make a second wisp light as well, just in case I need it for corpse runs. Spoiler alert, I have already used it once, not too long before I recorded this, so my long run of not dying has definitely ended. I won't spoil the details of how it happened, but you're not going to be waiting very long in terms of episodes before you get to see that one. So now we're just going to knock out our second wisp light. Actually, no, that's our first one. We do make a second one. But we're not done with our new stuff yet. You might have noticed I've got like 3,500 gold at a chest at the trader. And I kind of knew about this before. But you're going to need 2 eggs, and the eggs are 1,500 gold each. Now, this is your next sort of tameable animal. And it's chickens. Now, to answer to the age-old question, which came first, the chicken or the egg? In Valheim, definitely the egg. Now, what you've got to do is you need 2, because you're only going to get 1 chicken out of each egg. And you need 2 chickens to be able to breed to make more chickens. So we need to throw them individually, so you can't throw a stack. It won't work if you throw a stack. But as you can see, when I moused over each of them now, they stop sparkling and they show that they are now warm. When you leave them like that, they will mature into a little baby chicken and then they turn into a hen. And when they become a hen, that's when they start laying eggs. And that's where you need 2 hens together to, you know, essentially do the breeding thing just like every other animal in Valheim. Now, the process takes a little while, so what I find is good to do is make sure your fire nearby, which is keeping them warm, make sure it's well stocked so it doesn't run out. And the other thing you're going to need is some feed. So this is me going down to my newly built hen house out the back here where it's not in the way. I'm going to throw down a chest and I'm going to put a whole bunch of these turnip seeds which I created a while back. These are all spare seeds. I've got heaps on the farm to maintain turnip production, and to be honest I haven't needed turnips for probably the last 2 biomes. So I'm doing something a little bit clever here. I'm putting some of the food in the area which is covered by the fire, but as you can see the fire is off to the side. So not all of that hen house is warm, some of it isn't. So I'm trying to make it so that some of the chickens are going to end up in the warm side and some in the cold side, so that I get some eggs that don't hatch, because I'll need eggs for cooking. But equally, I also need chickens for cooking and laying more eggs. That hen house I'll get a few chickens in there. They do grow a bit more densely than pigs. But I'm not going to get a lot in there. So my intention is to build one of these automated ones. Probably, I haven't found which version I'll use, but it's I suspect I'll be using a variant on the similar setup to what I did with pigs, but stay tuned, I'll let you know how that one goes. After a quick check of my gear, I've realised my axe is only level 3, so I'm just going to upgrade that in the background. And while I'm doing that, that will bring us to the end of this episode. I want to thank you all for watching. If you want to see more, make sure you are subscribed and you remember to give me a thumbs up. Yeah, there'll be a lot more very interesting content coming up with me entering Mistlands, so you don't want to miss out on that. In the meantime, my name is Rudimentary Rob. Thank you very much for watching and have yourself a fantastic day.